Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here. I want to thank all of our local elected officials, our partners in the North Rockland Chamber of Commerce, our small business owners, and the folks at Chippy, the Champlain Hudson Power Express, as well as the Community Foundation of Orange, Sullivan, and Rockland. Today we are here to announce, after a lot of communication, a lot of back and forth, a lot of advocacy by the small businesses, by the Chamber, that the Champlain Hudson Power Express has agreed to put $1 million into a Good Neighbor Fund that will be housed at the Community Foundation of Orange, Sullivan, and Rockland for the express purpose of supporting the businesses that have been impacted by the construction over the past year. This is something that I am extremely proud to have helped broker to support our small businesses here in North Rockland and Rockland County. And it came as a result of the sustained advocacy of our small businesses and community leaders here. This was a great partnership. It took a little bit of time, a little longer than we all would have liked, but I think it shows what can happen when everybody works together to try and solve a problem. And as we've seen over the last year, significant construction on the Route 9W corridor, which is the main commercial corridor for Stony Point and Haverstraw, and we saw the impact on the small businesses who have put blood, sweat, and tears into their livelihoods, into supporting this community, and we wanted to do everything we could to support them because of the very real challenges that were created by this infrastructure project. We all know we need investments in energy infrastructure like Chippy, and that it has long-term benefits for New York and our region, both in terms of tax revenue and the community investment that has already been wrought. But we all know that this project had significant impacts on the businesses here that frankly I don't think were taken into account during the planning, and certainly in the aftermath, trying to get relief for these businesses was a real fight. A fight that really we should have been able to avoid. But I think it goes to show at the end of the day, when people do work together, you can deliver results. And so I am grateful that after months of discussion with Blackstone and with Chippy, that they committed the $1 million to support small businesses impacted by this project. And I want to thank them for genuinely engaging in this process and working with us to reach an outcome. The North Rockland Chamber has been a vital partner in this, and I want to thank Stephanie for her leadership and all of the board members and small businesses. They really did advocate for and go to bat for the businesses impacted and this community, and it was not easy, and I know there was a lot of frustration along the way, but I think the end result is a positive one for the Chamber and for the small businesses. This fund will be established with the Community Foundation of Orange, Sullivan, and Rockland. We will be working with the Chamber, with the Foundation, to establish how it will be independently administered to ensure a neutral review and fairness and transparency, and that these dollars go to the businesses. While municipalities and other entities received funding tied to this project over the course of the negotiations and planning. Many of the small businesses were not taken into account when this project was being planned. And so this is a great way to address an issue that should have been addressed on the front end. But I think this is also a good learning moment that when we have large-scale infrastructure projects like this in the future, critical projects that are needed, that we do take into account the impact on the small business owners on these main corridors in particular. So again, I want to thank everybody for being here. These businesses aren't just storefronts, they're family livelihoods, they are job creators, they're community anchors, and we want to make sure that they all have the support that they need. Before I open it up to some of our speakers, I do want to read two statements on behalf of both Chippy and on behalf of the Community Foundation. Jen White, Senior Vice President, External Affairs of Transmission Developers, released the following statement. The Champlain Hudson Power Express team is incredibly proud of the significant support that we have provided to New York's communities along the entire 339-mile project route, including sponsorship of local community events, purchasing from small businesses along the route, and supporting local nonprofits. The Good Neighbor Fund is a further reflection of that commitment. We are grateful to all of the community leaders, elected officials, and local stakeholders who supported us during our construction, and are pleased that Chippy is set to begin commercial operation later this month. In addition, Elizabeth Rowley from the Community Foundation of Orange, Sullivan, and Rockland said the following. The Community Foundation of Orange, Sullivan, and Rockland looks forward to playing a role in helping the local businesses that were affected by the pipeline project. We are able to help manage an open and transparent application process for the funds and support the review committee and with collection and organization of appropriate documentation and backup. So we will be working in short order with the Chamber, with the Community Foundation to establish the guidelines, to establish the application process, the review process, and the release of the funds. My intention is to have this done in swift order. These businesses have waited long enough, and we want to have an open, fair, transparent, and swift process to release these funds. So we will be working expeditiously with all of the relevant stakeholders to get that done. I want to ask our County Executive, Ed Day, to say a few words. And then I will ask our town supervisors as well.
Am I that tall? Good afternoon, everyone. Mike took a lot of my thunder, which makes my life a little bit easier today. But where we are today was not something we stumbled upon. This is something that was a continuing battle for the rights of our local citizens, our store owners in particular, to make sure that whatever is being done is done fairly, and being done in such a way that will reflect positively in this community. I don't think there's many people here today who had a moment to say that we would be hearing this type of approach after all that we went through here in this county and this local community. So it's great to see this, and again, we are really blessed to have a congressman who doesn't stay in D.C. all the time. He actually stays, he comes to his hometown, does the tough work to make sure that we get good things done. This was a tough one to do. And I want to acknowledge Mike. He's a stand-out person representing us in Albany. I'm sorry, no, I didn't know Mike. Mike got out of Albany not long ago, but representing us here in Rockland County and the federal government and Congress. So with that, I just really want to thank our local residents and our citizens and our small business owners for what they've done, they contributed to make sure that there was a focus on this entire effort that would come to something that resembles fruition, and instead we have $1 billion coming into their hands. I can't think of a better way to close out an issue. And again, my gratitude to Congressman Waller for his hard work. Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir. you, Ed. And before I bring up our two town supervisors, I do want to also acknowledge Senator Bill Weber. John Mulgrew is here on his behalf. Senator Weber has been a great partner in this effort as well, and really been pushing to support the businesses. So thank you to your office. I now want to introduce our host, the supervisor of the town of Stony Point, Amy Stan.
Good afternoon. I'm joined today here from Stony Point with Councilman Todd Rose, who's behind me here. I first want to say thank you, Congressman Lawler, for your leadership and for delivering this critical support to our community. I'd also like to recognize former Town Supervisor Jim Monahan, who was part of the effort that helped move this forward. Jim continued to assist with this even into his retirement because he understood the impact that the Chippy project had on the Stony Point and North Rockland community. This project has brought real challenges to many of our businesses: reduced access, traffic disruptions, impacts to their day-to-day operations. These are businesses that are the backbone of Stony Point. They are our neighbors, our gathering places, and a vital part of what makes Stony Point special. This $1 million commitment from Blackstone is a meaningful step in recognizing these impacts and helping our business community continue to move forward. It's especially fitting that we're making this announcement during National Small Business Week, which is a time dedicated to supporting the small businesses that keep our communities strong. So on behalf of myself and the town board, thank you once again, Congressman, for your efforts.
Thank you. Thank you, Amy. Now I'd like to recognize the supervisor of the town of Haverstraw, Howard Phillips.
Imagine that, getting applause in the town of Stony Point.
It was tepid.
Promises made and many promises that were not kept. That's why we're here today. I want to first thank the supervisor from the town of Stony Point. Amy and I worked together very closely, and prior to that, Supervisor Jim Monahan. But we weren't getting anywhere. We were spinning our wheels with Chippy. They made all these promises to us. Very little interference with traffic. The job was supposed to be done over 2.5 years ago. These promises were never kept. It was a nightmare for our small businesses. And make no doubt about it, small businesses are the backbone of any town and community. So we reached out to our state and federal representatives. I want to thank Congressman Lawler because they weren't listening to us. They should have, but they weren't. This additional $1 million is going to be a big help. Of course, we wish it was more. And of course, we wish this would have went easy, but it didn't. We have to thank the businesses and our residents for their patience and understanding. After all, this electrical line is not going to benefit anyone in the county of Rockland. This is really for the boroughs of New York City. But we understand the need for that, and we understand the fact that they must have this energy. But without Congressman Lawler and everyone working together, a team effort, Democrats and Republicans working together, we were able to solve this. So thank you, Congressman, and let's hope that we're finally going to be finished with this construction. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Howard. I now want to recognize and asked to say a few words on behalf of the North Rockland Chamber of Commerce, Stephanie Malowski, who really has been at the tip of the spear here, fighting for the small businesses in North Rockland and working with the elected officials to try and get this done. And I thank Stephanie for her leadership and all of her hard work in delivering on this.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the North Rockland Chamber of Commerce, and more importantly, on behalf of the small businesses who are the backbone of North Rockland community, as said so appropriately, I stand here today to accept this $1 million investment in North Rockland. This is more than a number. This represents survival. It represents hope. Over the past 2.5 years, our small businesses have faced extraordinary challenges. The construction disruptions caused closed roads, dismantled parking, closed off access, limited visibility, and difficult decisions about staffing, hours, and even whether these businesses could keep their doors open. This project created a devastating ripple effect, weakening confidence among consumers, especially outside of North Rockland. These are not just businesses that were affected. These are the families that live here, their livelihoods, and the heart of our neighborhoods. So today we say thank you for some relief. Congressman Mike Lawler, your advocacy and your willingness to listen helped make this possible. You didn't just hear our concerns, you acted on them. And for that, we are deeply grateful. The hard work from the North Rockland Chamber Board, Mary Rodriguez Morrison, Lauren Isaacs Shimko, Julia Kushner, and of course Rocky and Michelle Alexander was pivotal, as we are a 100% volunteer organization, and without your help, we just were not loud enough. To our small business owners, this moment is for you, for the early mornings, the late nights, the risk, the resilience, and the commitment to this community, even when the path forward was uncertain. This funding is a recognition of your perseverance and a bridge to a stronger future. The North Rockland Chamber is proud to stand beside you, not just today, but every day, as your partner, your advocate, and your voice. We look forward to putting these funds to work in a way that is transparent, impactful, and meaningful, helping businesses stabilize, recover, and grow. Today is a reminder of what can happen when government and community come together with a shared purpose. North Rockland small businesses didn't ask for special treatment. They asked for a fair shot. Today, because of this investment, they get that chance. A chance to rebuild, a chance to breathe, and a chance to remind everybody exactly who we are. Trusted, dependable, empowering, and purpose-driven. So again, thank you, Congressman Lawler, Ed Day, the Community Foundation of Orange, Sullivan, and Rockland, and all of our community partners. And most importantly, thank you to our small businesses for never giving up on North Rockland. We accept this with gratitude and with determination to make every dollar count. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Now I'm going to ask Ron Gara from Titan Fitness to speak as one of the businesses impacted.
Hello, everybody. I want to thank Congressman Mike Lauer for all the help he did. Also, Stephanie, Rock, we all put our heads together to basically try to get this done. It affected me because it was in front of my business for about 1.5 years. It took up a whole parking lot. And I own a gym, so I'm a consumer base. You've got to come to me. If there's no place to park, they're going to look elsewhere. I'm also right in 9W, by the corner of 9W and 202. So I'm truly affected, and that's what the plan of construction is. But again, the main thing we're here for is thank Congressman Mike Lauer for his efforts and what he put forth to get this job done. And again, thank you again. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ron. So look, as we conclude, and we'll take some questions from the press. This is a year in the making. Obviously, a lot of impact on our local communities here in Stony Point and Haverstraw. A lot of impact on our small businesses, and ultimately, I think the sustained advocacy by the chamber, by the small business owners, by our local elected officials, really helped deliver this moment. So I want to thank everybody for their work, and also the press. A lot of the members of the press really did a great job helping highlight this issue and make people aware, and that's always vital in trying to get a positive result. And ultimately, in dealing with the folks at Blackstone and Chippy, I am grateful that they came to the decision to help create this fund and invest in it to support our businesses. There is a lot of opportunity for growth, for prosperity, and it works best when everybody is working together. And so I think, when Blackstone and Chippy recognize the value and the importance of our small businesses and are willing to help invest in it, that makes a difference. And so I think this was, in the end, a positive outcome, and we will continue to work to make sure that these funds get to the businesses as expeditiously as possible. So appreciate everybody being here. Happy to take questions from the press.
So the original settlement offer from Chippy was $100,000, and now it's $1 million, shorter than the high water mark. Would you say that there was a certain point in the negotiations where there was a realization where Chippy and the constituents would offer a certain amount, but they wouldn't go above it? Anything to any leverage that was put on by New York State or any other entities to help to make that number?
So I will tell you, New York State was not involved in any of my conversations whatsoever. I have, obviously, as a member of Congress, have built a lot of relationships across the board and have good relationships with folks at Blackstone, and really went directly to them about the importance of addressing this issue. These businesses didn't ask for this. They didn't ask for this project. This was a decision by the state to do this project. From my vantage point, I think the state could have done a lot more to support these businesses. They did not. But I think the objective to me was to get a positive result and to get investment into this community, which was negatively impacted by the construction. And so, anytime you're dealing with corporate America, it takes time. It's not going to be resolved overnight. But we were tireless in pursuit of this, and the chamber continued to advocate and to stay in contact with us. And ultimately we were able to have a conversation between the chamber and Blackstone at one point to go through this. And I think they were fair in trying to address a real impact on the community and recognizing how important it was to me and to the elected officials in this community, as well as the small businesses. So these things are never easy to negotiate, but I fundamentally believe this is a fair deal for the businesses impacted, and I'm grateful that we were able to have a positive outcome.
Looking for details on the framework, when can businesses, if you know, start applying for this help, and are there any stipulations if these businesses accept it?
Yeah. So a few things. One, we are going to have, as expeditiously as possible, a meeting with the Community Foundation, with the Chamber, to establish the process and specifically, what documentation is needed, what financials, et cetera. So that way, again, we want everybody to be treated fairly. We want, $1 million. It's got to be divvied up. The question is how to divvy it up and do so fairly across the board, which means you need to be able to provide documentation so we can have an independent auditor or accountant evaluate everything and ultimately make a determination. I think the reality of a fund like this is if you apply, obviously, and you receive funds, you're foregoing any type of litigation moving forward. But the objective here to me is this saves everybody time, resources, energy, allows them to focus on growing their businesses and to be able to recoup some of the losses that they may have endured as a result of this construction. So it's, this was an effort to get financial support into the community and get it to them as quickly as possible. We all know when you're dealing with complex litigation that can go on years and cost a lot of money. I think the effort is to avoid any of that and really get the money into the hands of the businesses.
Just one last question. We have so many other elected officials here. Are there any other ways you guys are looking to help these businesses now? Are there any other ways that elected officials can also help?
Well, I think we really facilitated their ability to meet with the elected officials, and we also brought Chippy officials to the table. So I think that was extremely important. But make no doubt about it, they're not listening to local officials. It was the congressman that really bent their arm and made them give this money.
Okay. Just looking to see if there's anything else.
We also the county, in the county,
What else
kicked
can
in.
we do for them? Yeah.
When this was in its pitch battle, we made it clear that there would be no tax breaks at all that were ready to be given to Chippy, and that was taken off the table. And we said straight out, this is the way they're going to treat our people here in Rockland County. Then we will make sure that they get treated with the same fashion. Again, was it contributory to how this played out? I don't know. I don't care. I just know that we got something out of it. Cool.
Yeah, so I wanted to confirm two things. One, for Ed, does that mean that the pilot program is back on track and that you're going to agree to sign the pilot agreement? For question one, and just for Mike, is the money coming from Blackstone or Chippy? I know one owns the other, but just to
So
clarify.
the money will be coming from Chippy.
So what's
As far as the pilot.
But the pilot project is, as far as I'm concerned, is on hold. We held it back until we were satisfied that what was being done was in the best interest of the people of this community. We now have a major step in that direction thanks to our congressmen and other elected officials and local merchants who kicked in to get something done. So I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to see exactly how this plays out. We'll talk to the IDA. I'm not rushing to do anything until I know for sure that's just what we're
Yes.
I'm not impressed, but I can ask a question, right?
Sure.
Thank you. Steve Beckley, local business, Beckley Lumber, right? So, thank you, everybody. And I understand the enthusiasm and the happiness when you were going to get nothing and you got something. But $1 million doesn't cover what happened. You know, we can all pat ourselves on the back all day long, but $1 million, it's great. Thank you. Chamber of Commerce, thank you. We probably should have got nothing, and if it wasn't for Mike, we would have got nothing. But that does not cover what happened to your businesses. And I would take a page out of Mike Waller's book when he says, next time, watch out for the businesses, because next time, these guys are running over these local guys. And he just said it again. Oh, they don't listen to the small local guys. They will listen to the small local guys. You have zoning rights. You can stop them before they start. 3 years ago, not now. And thank you for the Democrats for coming in. And thank you, Mike Waller, for not attacking all the Democrats today like you did at the bridge last time. Okay, I'm done. Steve Beckley, Beckley Lumber.
Good, thanks, Steve. Yes.
Adam Garvey, Rockland County Times. Below Ulster County, this route is all underwater except for the brief period where it's over land in Haverstraw and Stony Point. Why? Do we know why? I know that's about sturgeons, but is there anything more that we know about that?
I think the big rationale was tied to the sturgeon. But look, this project, the planning of it as it pertains to Stony Point and Haverstraw, in my opinion, was not fully flushed out. And, you know, they had to adjust numerous times. You had the CSX line, which was an issue, then they bring it up to 9W. Again, they didn't take into account the businesses or the residents and the traffic. And so, you know, I think there's a lot of blame that can go around here. Steve, to your point, to me, when planning these types of large-scale infrastructure projects, I do think the businesses have to be taken into account on the planning phase and how to address some of these issues. And certainly when you have investment coming in from private business, you know, getting a community fund is great, getting support for local government is great, but getting support for businesses is also vital too. This was not a federal project. This was a state project. So the reason I was critical of our state elected officials, who happen to be Democrats, was because they did not step in to help. And it was their responsibility. This was not a federal project, but I represent everybody here and wanted to try to do what I could to support the businesses. That's why I stepped in.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yep. Yes, Nancy.
This is for Stephanie, just a little point of clarification. The North Rockland Chamber of Commerce had included businesses along the 9W corridor beyond their boundaries, and I'm wondering from where to where will businesses be able to apply for this?
Right, so, yes, we followed the route of the construction, so although it's the North Rockland Chamber, which encompasses the town of Stony Point and the town of Haverstraw, we've also included the Congress businesses that were devastated along the 9W corridor as well.
Yeah, and I think
including Vinnie's Auto.
one thing, you know, as we work through this process, it's going to be, people can apply. If somebody feels they were impacted, they can apply. But there's going to be obviously a review process, and again, we want full transparency. We want to be fair to everybody. But certainly if somebody feels they were impacted, they're welcome to apply, and it'll be evaluated as we move forward. Yes, sir.
Has Chippy or Blackstone said they're going to continue to add money to the $1 million?
No, this will be the fund.
That's it.
Any other questions from the press?
All right, thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
So if it's not me, you're taking my
Oh, it's so hard. I gotta stop thinking.